This episode is brought to you by Ahmad Vital. He is accepting pre-orders now for his new book, I Am More Than Enough. For more info, email at info@ahmadvital.com. Mention the Success Chronicles and get free shipping.
Success is whatever you make it. If you want to be happy, you want to provide for your family.
Live.
You gotta put that work in, man. You gotta go get
Learn.
it. See, listen, this is what I tell them.
Serve.
I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go
Inspire.
out and I go get it. How to
You're in
go,
the
that's
right
all I know.
place.
I don't
You're
succeed
checking
if I
out
don't breathe.
Chip
Success,
Baker,
what does it
the
mean?
Success
If I
Chronicles.
conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. And today we have Dean Johnson with us, and he's coming to us all the way from London. He's been involved with many things, physical training, marketing, and he's currently a life coach. And so his book is coming, How to Get the Leading Edge. And so he's involved in a lot of great positive things, and we're so thankful to have you on today for the Success Chronicles.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to us about your life, Dean. Where you grew up and where you're from and kind of up until now, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course. Right. So I grew up in Crystal Palace, London, UK. I was there from birth till about the age of 16. Then I moved up to Croydon.
Okay.
And I currently live in Sutton. I know you don't know where that is.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
So work life. So
Uh-huh.
I was never the smartest kid within schools. I had special needs from maths when I was in year 7,
Okay.
which is I was about 13, and my sister was always the book smart woman. You know, she would help me out with maths, my grammar and English, science. You know, you name it. And then from there, I went to college. I went to Orpington College, and I did a BTEC, National Diploma in Sports Development Coaching and Fitness. And my dad actually wanted me to be a policeman.
Oh.
And I actually tried to get into that, but I had no luck at all. And so there I am, 18. My first job was I was a lifeguard.
Okay.
And I used to sit at the poolside and watching people swim. For all of you watching this now, probably the most boring job of my life. Like literally, right? Honestly, it was the most boring job. I eventually got sacked. Yeah, they let me go because I faked a pool test and all of this stuff. Anyway, and then I went on to work for Virgin Active. I don't know if you heard of Virgin Active before.
No.
You know Richard Branson.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So it's one of his gyms.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah. I worked there from the age of 18 and a half to about 19. And that was when I first entered the self-employed route. Because before I was actually qualified as a personal trainer, I actually used to take clients from the gym and train them outside in the park. So I was earning a little bit of cash on the side, which was good. So I was automatically inclined to that, self-employed sort of life, And so anyway, at the age of 19 and a half, I got the boot, I got the sack again. So two jobs within the space of a year. It was crazy. I was crying. I can remember I was crying. Tears were coming because I was living such a nice, comfortable life. And all of a sudden, bam, and it's gone. And I couldn't afford my rent. I wasn't depressed, but I went through really, really bad times. And I even actually asked my dad to lend me some cash as well, because I was that low. And I started to hand out leaflets and distribute flyers and business cards because I was looking for clients. And I was at this gym at the time called Portobello Green Fitness Club in Notting Hill. And the clients were not high end enough to afford personal training. And the manager there, she actually used to get trainers from all the top gyms around London. And, so when there's someone like me who's brand new trying to pick up clients, there was no one around working. I ended up getting a job in Fitness First in South Kensington. South Kensington is one of the richest areas around London, Mayfair, or like all around that part. Because I was so used to talking to people and grinding really hard, within 3 months, my life changed. I was counting cash weekly. It was an amazing feeling to just go from this to that. So anyway, 2 years later, I was working 15 hours a day. And even though the money was good, I realized I didn't want to do this now. I wanted more. I craved more. And I started looking around, and I found this woman online who was selling gluten-free cakes. And I said to myself, this is great. I would love to get these on my website as well. So we met up, and there, before I know it, she's presenting me with this network marketing opportunity. And I was very skeptical about the whole idea. But I said to her, you know what, let me try it out. So in July 2016, July 2015, sorry.
Okay.
July 2015, I signed the paper, and I was a network marketing distributor for Forever Living. Now, I quickly went up the marketing plan, only went to the first level within the space of 3 months, but I ended up doing this business for 3 years. And let me just tell you, Chip, it was the best 3 years of self-development of my life.
Yeah.
I did speaking, I traveled. At one point, I traveled all the way to Australia. Took $3,500 out of my savings. And I was like, I'm going to go here and I'm going to build a business up. However, there was me being a dreamer. I never became a millionaire throughout doing this. But like I said, I got the best 3 years of personal development of my life. And through that process as well, I also met the love of my life. And, I got lots of other things from it. So anyway, moving on, I came back from Australia in 2016 in March, and I I met up with a friend of mine who was she told me about this life coaching thing,
Mm-hmm.
and the seed was planted, and she took me along to this event, and I saw this guy, and I was like, yes, I want to be like you. And before I knew it, I spent £7,500 to £8,000 on my personal development within that year. And from there, I had the idea to put it in schools. So now you can check us out. We're called The Life School. Website is www.thelifeschool.co.uk, and we go around now to schools. Probably it's just the most amazing thing, because this might be coming off the topic a little bit, but emotional intelligence within schools is necessary. When I was growing up, Chip, I never had a coach or a mentor to look up to. Nobody was teaching this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's so essential within schools. And in addition to that, I've also in the process of setting up a mentor group, the HFL mentor group, where I help men improve their confidence, charisma, and again hitting emotional intelligence as well. And I've also got a book coming out, How to Get the Leading Edge. It's going to be available to buy by end of March, and that is me.
Okay, that's some good stuff. I think you touched on some things where you said, like, each phase, how you felt at each phase, your progression at each phase, and I think it's great to have constant growth. You also said about developing yourself. You invested in developing yourself, and it's
100%.
And it's pretty awesome when you can see. Been like, people will tell you, yeah, you have to invest in yourself, but it's pretty awesome when you can see the benefits, and when you invest in yourself so that you can help others, and that's what makes it fulfilling, I think.
Yeah, and I think people are so worried about money,
Right.
and I think this is one of the main reasons. But the reality is, right, if you don't invest in yourself, you're always going to be stuck. Investing in yourself is key. Do you want to? I'm going to tell you now one of my major f-ups, right? Okay. Last year, so I do a bit of trading as well. Bitcoin.
Right.
All sorts of stuff. And I invested £3,000 in total to 2 people, and they said, yeah, we can deliver this amount of money to you by this date.
Mm-hmm.
I lost £3,000. I never saw that money again. I was scammed. And if there is anyone out here and you are a beginner trader, be very, very careful. And I actually read a book on economics after I did this, and I actually said there are people out there who will, take your cash if you don't use your mind. So, in terms of, emotional intelligence, it's hard. It is really, really hard to learn control your emotions, but also greed as well. So, because greed, you know how they say money is the root to
all evil.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, in some cases, it is true, because it does, it messes you up, So I would suggest, but always invest in yourself, but know what you're investing in.
There
is
it is.
probably the takeaway message there.
Okay.
Don't be this whole skeptical sort. I'm skeptical to pay this person. Da, da, da. Until this is kind of like a contradicting conversation, because how can I put it? Like, you have to invest in yourself in order to grow, but you have to be wary of what you're investing in. So
Right.
always do your research as well.
I think too, when you relate that, as a living life lesson, I think,
Mm,
it's about balance,
mm,
as well,
100%.
I think you want to have a little bit of both, not too high extreme, not too
Mm,
low extreme, but,
yeah.
just find, work to find balance there right in the middle so that you're in a good place and you can help others.
Mm,
What are 3 things you've accomplished that you're proud
definitely. Oh God. 3 things that I've accomplished that I'm proud of.
of?
That's a very good question. So, I've done martial arts since I was 7. I used to do Kyokushinkai karate, and after 13 years, I achieved my black belt,
Okay.
my first dan. I am proud of. I am proud of. Um, this is a very good question, Jim.
Hey, it
um,
makes you reflect, huh?
yeah, no, of course.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I've achieved, like, this is not being arrogant or anything like this, but I would say I've achieved more in my 20s than most people have in their 30s and 40s.
Right. I
So
agree with that.
and it's not to be big-headed or arrogant, I mean, so I've got my book. I'm going to be very, very proud of that. I mean, having a book is so important because it puts you up there with the Les Browns, the Eric Thomas, the Tony Robbins. It does, because it gives you some credibility for what you do. So, book number 2, and lastly, I would say, gosh, the third one. What am I? Repeat the question, please.
What are 3 things that you're proud of that you've accomplished?
Proud of. I would say I'm proud of my background,
Yeah.
where I've come from. I've come from a very solid background. My dad and my mum have raised me well.
Yeah.
And they have never come from that silver spoon family. When I was born, my mum went part-time work, and my dad was a full-time window cleaner running his own business, and he's had to continuously grind. So it's made me feel very grateful and appreciative for what I have now. So there you go. So my book, becoming a black belt in martial arts after 13 years, and my background.
There it is. What's your definition of success?
My definition of success is being able to do what you want with who you want when you want. This whole, I've got to get up for work tomorrow, Monday, da 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 da. I love Mondays. I love the start of the week. Every day is a new day to better yourself, to achieve something else and learn something else. So, yeah.
What do you think it takes to achieve success?
Oh, Chip. This is the money question right here. Let me tell you something.
oh man. The money question.
Like this, the secret to success, Chip, is having a strong why. Is having a strong why. Now, I don't mean some generic why. I'm talking about some deep, meaningful, purposeful, compelling why that will take you where you want to go. I mean, I've been knocked back so many times. So I've already spoken about this, but my first website was called Fitness Plus. And long story short, I had to get rid of the website because one of the guys who was blogging for me, he used to get pictures from Google, and the pictures that were from Google were from Getty Images, one of the biggest photography agencies. And I wasn't aware of the consequences for using photos. I wasn't aware of them. Anyway, I was being sued for £6,000. Now, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're 23 years old, 22, 23 years old, that's a lot of cash. And thank God for my sister and her husband, who actually wrote a good email, and I only had to pay £1,000. But I had to close off everything. So that's like one big failure. Okay. Mm-hmm. But you got to keep coming back again and again and again. But the one major thing that is going to keep you going, that one major thing that's going to push you to success and what it takes to be successful, is having a strong why. If you don't have a why that truly makes you cry, forget it.
There it is. It's truly strong why. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to interview with the Chronicles today. And thank you guys for watching this episode. We'll see you next time. God bless. Thanks to Amar Baton for sponsoring this episode of the Success Chronicles.